We all have those games in our lives that take us back to our childhood when we boot them up. Games that make us appreciate and long for a simpler time in our past when these games were in their prime. Regardless of what these older games in our lives make us feel, they never fail to take us back to our happy places. Welcome back to another episode of A Taste of Nostalgia, everyone. And in today's episode, we are covering one of the most iconic and beloved games from the Xbox and PS2 era, Star Wars Battlefront 2, which was originally released in November of 2005. I honestly can't remember how old I was when I first played this game. All I know is that it was at an old daycare I used to go to as a kid, and my friends and I there would play this game all the time on the original Xbox. We would glitch hunt, ruin games with the many cheat codes available, we would blow ourselves up with the rocket launchers. Basically, if it could be done, me and the boys definitely attempted it. I would eventually get this game on my PS2 as a Christmas gift, but again, I don't remember the exact year. I just know it was when I was little. Battlefront 2 has 3 modes for you to play: Instant Action, Galactic Conquest, and Rise of the Empire, which is the game's story mode. If you're watching this video, it most likely means you already know about these modes, so I won't deep dive into the obvious like most other YouTubers would. Galactic Conquest, though, was always my favorite of the trio, as Rise of the Empire has some annoying missions and they don't really have a whole lot of variety to them. And in Instant Action, you just make a playlist of maps, but they just loop endlessly until you quit out of it, which can get pretty annoying after a while. For this video, I'll be playing through a round of Galactic Conquest as the Grand Army of the Republic, and recapping it briefly. I will also be playing on the PC version of this game because it just looks better. While doing so, I'll be sharing some of my favorite memories with this game from my childhood. Feel free to share some of your favorite memories with Star Wars Battlefront 2 down below. I would love to hear some of your stories with this game. I will be playing on a new profile on Elite difficulty for the maximum challenge. Let's do this. While I do have countless hours in this game, there are stages that even I struggle with to this very day. 2 stages in particular, which you'll learn about in this video later on. One of these planets in particular puts the clones at a major disadvantage, with the enemy getting free bonus units running around that don't count towards their army count. The CIS put up a hard fight in this round. As you'll learn in this summary recap, I end up struggling with both of these stages. So, stick around and see how they go. We start off by picking the Grand Army of the Republic and purchasing a fleet over Kamino to defend our home base. We gotta stay prepared before we take on certain planets that just make me want to pull all of my hair out. Our first move is to move the Naboo fleet over to Geonosis to try and take their base early. Unfortunately, the CIS have the Geonosians on their side, which count for free units and don't take away from their squad count when defeated. So, going into Geonosis without any bonuses goes about as well as you'd expect. My strategy here was simple: take the ATTE to the far bunker and capture it so the CIS tanks quit spawning. Spoiler alert, it didn't work very well. The CIS then try and assault Kamino, but they have to get through our second fleet in orbit over Kamino first. Thankfully, space battles are super easy in this game, so we repel them with no problem at all. There are a lot of space battles in Galactic Conquest, which I personally don't mind, but for the sake of time in this video, I'll be skipping over them unless something notable happens. After the space battle, I pick up a garrison bonus and use it to help invade Mos Eisley. Mos Eisley is one of my favorite levels in the entire game. This level is also well beloved by the community because it is the only map in the game with a hero versus villains mode, which was my favorite map mode to play on. I really wish the game devs would have made this mode available in all maps of the game. It always just leaves you wondering what could have been with this mode had they fleshed it out more. Anyways, we capture Mos Eisley without issue and move on. Then, in a brilliant move of strategy and determination, we move in to invade Geonosis again. This time, we bring in a garrison bonus and the clone sharpshooter on the team. It was once again a hard-fought battle, but we couldn't pull it off and fall in defeat yet again, leaving our home base of Kamino wide open to invasion. We attempt to bounce back from our second failure on Geonosis by addressing the droid attack on the Wookiees by sending an attack group there immediately. One of my favorite cheat codes in this game as a kid was the invincibility cheat, and my favorite level to use it on was Kashyyyk. My friends and I would turn on the cheat and walk out of bounds to the end of the stage. I don't know if this is a glitch or not, but sometimes, even with the cheat, your character will randomly die when out of bounds. My friends and I knew this phenomenon as Big Fish, in reference to the lurker shark from Jak and Daxter. Big Fish would strike without warning, and it was super creepy to us for some reason because we just couldn't explain how or why it happened. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get this event to happen despite many attempts at it. I'm sure you can imagine what it looks like though. Getting back to the battle though, Kashyyyk is a sniper's paradise. You can easily pick on your enemies here from across the map and make their push to the mainland extremely difficult. I just wish there was a gonk droid up here. With that, we take Kashyyyk without issue in dominating fashion. To prevent a droid invasion of Naboo, a stage that I personally struggle on, I purchase a second fleet over Naboo and meet the incoming droid fleet in space. Once that's done, we push onwards and invade Dagobah. The way I like to play Dagobah is to take advantage of how open and narrow it is by rushing them right out of the gate in a blitzkrieg-like fashion to put as much pressure on them as I can. This strategy works even better once you get an elite rifle, which I unfortunately could not acquire. Either way, it was a close battle, but we took Dagobah. After a brief defense of Mos Eisley on Tatooine and the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, we move in to invade Utapau. The way I like to play Utapau is the same way I like to play Dagobah. Blitzkrieg their first and only command post and try to overwhelm the enemy early and bother them often. If you can take their far command post though, you can pinch them right in between the two fronts and overwhelm them easily. We do just that and dominate the CIS and take Utapau from them. After fending off yet another invasion on Tatooine, we move onwards to invade Mustafar. Mustafar is a bit of a tricky level. Its passages are narrow, and there are lots of hiding spots for enemy units and snipers. So, taking command posts in this map can turn into massive slugfests with the enemy. While this map can be difficult, it still does not compare to other maps to a larger extreme of narrow passages. This round on Mustafar, though, actually turned out well for me, and we took Mustafar in dominant fashion. I can't let my recent success on offense and defense get to me, as we still have to take Geonosis and Polis Massa. Unfortunately, while I was on my crusade in the southern part of the galaxy, I forgot that the CIS could establish a fleet on Geonosis. This left Naboo wide open for a CIS invasion, and I struggle pretty hard on Naboo as is. All I could do is deploy a garrison bonus and pray. I'm gonna need to make a play on Geonosis at some point before they eventually catch me lacking and capture Naboo from under me. The CIS deploy the sabotage bonus on this stage. However, while this affects our tanks, it doesn't affect theirs, which gave me an idea. The Battle of Naboo was actually very one-sided. I decided to try something new here and rush their base, sneak in, and steal one of their tanks. This strategy worked out amazingly. The tank was at full health because sabotage only affects enemy tanks, and I was able to use it to bully the CIS in their own base, leading us to pinch them and all their units, while not allowing them to use a tank of their own against us. We even had a 50-point lead at one point. We ended up defending Naboo with 71 units to spare. That was probably the best defense of Naboo I have had in a long time. Let's keep this momentum going though, but can we carry it on to Geonosis? That's the real question here. To prevent any future invasions on Tatooine, and to prepare our units for a future invasion of Geonosis, we purchase a third fleet over Tatooine. We then move our other fleet to invade Polis Massa, one of the hardest maps to capture and defend in the entire Galactic Conquest. Before I continue, I'd like to take a brief moment to say that if you're enjoying the content I post on this channel or the Taste of Nostalgia videos, you should leave a like on this video and subscribe so you don't miss the next Taste of Nostalgia video. Your support really means the world to me. We're only 1,826,358 subs away from having 1,826,674 subscribers. If you want to see more Taste of Nostalgia videos, I have other episodes here on the channel on games like Pokemon Silver and Jak and Daxter. You should check them out if you're interested. With that being said though, let's get back to the Galactic Conquest. With all that out of the way, we start a massive invasion of Polis Massa. Polis Massa is one of my worst levels in the entire game, performance-wise. The problem with Polis Massa is how cramped it is. You see this command post here? This is where 90% of the battle takes place. If you fail to capture or defend this area, you will be smoked. What makes this harder is the fact that the super battle droids have wrist rockets, which detonate immediately upon contact, and the droids can't hurt themselves with it. Compare that with the clones, who throw thermal detonators, which take a couple seconds to go off, and the clones can blow themselves up with them. Even with the garrison bonus, we go in and get absolutely smoked. The droids definitely made up for the embarrassment on Naboo with this one. The best thing I can think of is to obtain a leader bonus and try again. The wrist rockets are just too overpowered on this stage, and our grenades do more harm to us than to our opponents. After the embarrassment on Polis Massa, the droids try and punch through our fleet guarding Tatooine. This space battle was fierce, coming down to the wire. The problem I ran into was that I blew up all of their life support systems, both inside their command ship and outside, and we still were a long ways off from getting to 180 points. What I ended up doing was going back into our command ship and repairing the shields, then got into a starfighter and dogfought my way to a victory. This was way too close for comfort. The droids really put up a massive fight this Galactic Conquest. In the end though, we won the space battle 180 to 167. We took the CIS's best punch, and now it's our turn to retaliate. To start, I spend 2,000 credits to build a fleet over Utapau so I can maintain pressure over Polis Massa and intercept any potential CIS fleet that tries to leave there. I then moved the fleet to open space but did not invade because I wanted a leader bonus for the invasion, as taking the main medical room is vital for a victory on Polis Massa. So what I decided to do was leave the fleet there until I can afford the bonus. I then take the fleet over Tatooine and move them to invade Geonosis again for round 3. I equip the advanced blasters bonus and begin the invasion. This invasion is crucial to victory overall, as failing to take Geonosis a third time means I won't be able to afford the invasion of Polis Massa, and it would also leave Tatooine and Kamino wide open to invasions, as I wouldn't have enough credits to purchase more fleets over them to guard them. I need to pull this invasion off. It's now or never. The CIS though deploys a sabotage bonus to damage the ATTE, and the battle begins. I start by immediately pressing in to take Command Post 3. I don't want to try and take the bunker in the rear, as that leaves me cut off from my team. One thing I've learned is that you do not want to be separated from your AI teammates, as they cannot handle themselves very well here on their own. I take Command Post 3 with little resistance and take up a defensive stance. With Command Post 3 taken, the CIS have to pass by it in order to make any progress, making it the perfect spot for a defensive wall and to put pressure on their 2 rear command posts at the back of the map as seen here. Unfortunately, I get driven out of Post 3, and the CIS take it back without issues. I try to press in on them and take Post 3 back, but their defensive stance is just too much for us right now. I then decided to look up at the scoreboard, and I realized we are currently up 40 on them. So I changed to the sharpshooter and post up on the hills by Command Post 5, just to bully any unit that spawns in the back. The CIS took Post 6 from right under us in an all-in push and attempted to take Post 5 afterwards, but they didn't have enough units to hold them both. We repelled them from taking Point 5, and after that, there weren't enough droids to keep up the fight, and we were able to secure the back bunker and pinch the final units they had, winning the battle, and securing Geonosis under Republic control. That was a massive win for us. Let's keep this momentum up and try to capture Polis Massa in round 2. With this victory, we now have enough money to invade. The CIS tried to invade Coruscant again, but we repelled them with an easy 30-point victory. The Battle of Polis Massa was fierce. Even with the leader bonus and Master Yoda on our side, this still came down to the wire. I took an extremely aggressive approach to this battle. I took Yoda and rushed Command Post 4. My plan was to put as much pressure on them on their front lines and allow the clones to take a solid foothold on Post 3 and maintain a defensive stance to outlast their forces. This started off really well and gave us a nice 40-point lead to open up the map. Unfortunately for me, once Yoda ran out of energy, the clones started to blow themselves up once faced with just a little amount of pressure at Post 3. I watched that massive lead slowly fade away as those wrist rockets and the clone AI's incompetence with grenades allowed the droids to take Post 3 with little effort and slowly take the lead on us. I honestly thought we were going to lose the battle when the Master Yoda spawn came back. I brought Yoda back, took back Command Post 3, and pushed them all the way to the edge, allowing us to capture all command posts and win by total capture with only 11 units left. That was a massive win, and with it, we secured the entire south half of the galaxy. With the CIS best planets now under my control, we can keep this momentum going and press into the final 3 planets under their control. We start off with an invasion of Felucia. The battle was pretty intense on both sides at a stalemate of sorts around Command Post 4 and in front of it. This battle was just a round of endurance until one side slipped. Luckily for us, we were barely able to outlast them and take Felucia with a 54-point win. I will point out that the garrison bonus of ours was activated shortly before the win, so the battle was a lot closer than that 54-point win would suggest. After the invasion and conquering of Felucia, we moved to invade the next planet in line, Yavin 4. I don't understand why Yavin 4 was a map for the CIS versus Republic Galactic Conquest. I guess they just didn't have enough maps to have a completely unique lineup for this matchup. If only this game came out after the Clone Wars TV show, there would have been so many more maps in this game. Could you imagine an Umbara map? That would have gone crazy. Anyways, the Battle of Yavin 4 was very close, and if not for the garrison bonus, we might have lost this battle. The problem is that the CIS had those mounted tower turrets, plus their tanks, making the capturing of Post 4 an extreme challenge. The droids had range advantage over us with those towers, and were able to repel most of our units that tried to make any kind of a push. It was like running into a buzzsaw. At the end of the battle though, we were able to win the battle with a 23-point margin, leaving us with only one planet to go until we fully eliminate the CIS and win the Galactic Conquest. After one last defensive Naboo, we moved the fleet over Coruscant to invade the final CIS-controlled planet of Megiddo. We deploy one last hero bonus and hope for the best. The Battle of Megiddo was another fierce battle. I played the hero bonus really poorly, and the CIS were able to repel it with little effort. We try and take a single one of the droids' command posts, but they repel our forces with little effort. We find ourselves down 20 at one point before I get the Kiadi Mundi spawn again and use him to rush Post 5. This allows me to stop their tanks from spawning and also allowing us to pinch the droids in an area with not very many places to hide. I took Command Post 5 with 0 resistance. Not a single droid tried to spawn in. We take this opportunity to capture Post 4. And as we take Post 4, we are still down 30 to 15. If we lose even a handful of units, we will find ourselves in an unwinnable position. This is going to be close. The advantage right now is with us, because the CIS only have one command post to spawn from, making it simple to mow them down. Those wrist rockets don't make it easy though, and the droids are able to sneak a command post away from us while dropping our unit count to 4. I decided to go all in and ignore the command post while trying to quickly hunt down the remaining droids trying to capture our command posts. I hunt down a few of them and give us a 4-2 lead. I then push into post 1 and capture it back, giving us all the command posts and winning us Megiddo and the Galactic Conquest by total capture. That was a nail biter. I had a blast playing through Galactic Conquest again for you all. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is one of my favorite video games of all time, so it's fitting that it be the game that I bring back the Taste of Nostalgia series with. I'm excited to get to work on the next Taste of Nostalgia video, and I hope you are too. If you are, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on what I have planned next. If you want to see the entire playthrough, I live streamed it here on the channel. Just go to the live stream tab or the live stream archive playlist and check it out. I try to live stream 3 times a week, so if you'd like to attend a stream or a live recording of the Taste of Nostalgia videos, feel free to stop by anytime. We have an amazing community here on the channel, and I know we would be happy to have you. I want to thank you all for your time. I know there are a billion YouTube channels and videos you could have watched instead of this one, so it really means a lot to me that you decided to click on this video and give it a view. Your support really means a lot to me. If you enjoyed this video, you should head to the playlist tab on the channel and check out the other series I have on here. Or even check out another episode of the Taste of Nostalgia. I'm sure you would enjoy some of the other playthroughs I have here on the channel. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. And until next time, bye for now.